This is a place for planting, for digging, for harvesting, for relaxing. It's a place to get your hands dirty, but most of all, it's about having fun. And that's what you'll always have when you're in the garden with Doug Oster. You want a green thumb too, don't you? It's December. We are out in our shirt sleeves on filming day, if you can believe that. And today we're talking all about attracting birds to the garden. And the reason we're doing that right now is so that they'll establish a foraging route, and then in the spring, hopefully, they'll be eating insects. And this up here, that's for the squirrels, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. The first thing is, where are we going to put the feeder? And you want it someplace where you can see the birds. Where these are located, we can see it from the kitchen window, from the living room window. And then we want to have a place where the birds can stage before they come to the feeder. And that's what these evergreen hemlock trees are for. I'm keeping the feeders at least 10 feet away so the squirrel can't jump on here. But that gives a place where the birds can come in, they can look around for predators, go to the feeder, get some food, and then hide back in there. And water is a very important part of bringing birds into the garden. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what are we going to fill those feeders up with? I love this stuff from Cole's Wild Bird Feed. And variety is what's going to bring lots of different birds in. Let's fill up some feeders. So as I said, variety is important. We've got some of the Cole's raw peanuts up there. I like to use corn too. The Blue Jays love that. And then this is special feeder mix. But what's in here now are black oil sunflower seeds, which is what I mostly feed. This has some other great stuff in it. Some birds cannot crack open those seeds, and so the sunflower meat, just the inside, is in here too. And we'll start by putting a little bit of that in there. When they finish up their black oil sunflower seeds, they'll have some of this special stuff, and maybe eventually it'll get cold and they'll need it. All right, let's take a look at a couple other feeders. All right, I just filled up this feeder. This is called the Perky Pet Feeder. I've had it for years, and it's squirrel proof. When they jump on here, that goes down, you can't get the seed. This one I've had for almost 20 years, and it looks it, doesn't it? When a squirrel jumps on here, it closes, can't get the seed. We're filling it up with the Cole's Blue Ribbon Blend. And let's keep talking squirrels. Follow me. So here we have a Cole's feeder that's going to be hung someplace that the squirrels can get to it. I love these feeders because, look, if you want to clean it out, that just pops right off. And we're using a product called Hot Meats. These are the sunflower hearts, and they're treated with hot pepper. The birds can't taste the hot pepper. The squirrels won't even try and eat it, and if they do, they're not going to like it. And I got the perfect place for this feeder. So these feeders are very accessible to the squirrels. That's why we're using the Hot Meats. And this one I actually got in Ireland at the €2 store. And you notice I'm not touching the Hot Meats. That's how powerful the hot pepper seed is. And I'll tell you what, whoever has the next cup of coffee out of here is going to taste it. Going to wake them up for sure. All right, before we get to our water, let's talk a little bit more about squirrels. Another tool to keep the squirrels off the feeder are baffles. Here's one that would be on a hanging feeder, and right behind that, all I'm doing is getting some furnace ductwork and screwing it to the bottom of the feeder. These are so big, probably around 10 inches around, because I'm also trying to stop the raccoons from getting up there, and I've been successful. Another great thing for the birds is the suet, and it's basically just fat, and it's high energy insect substitute for them. And they even make one that's hot meat, so I can hang it right here and the squirrels won't go after it. We're not done yet. Follow me. So as I said, water is critical to the birds during the winter. The only way we're going to be able to give them water is to heat it if we ever do get winter temperatures. And I don't need this right now. It's not plugged in, but I would just put it in here. We'll keep this melted. And actually, I try to keep the fountain going for as long as possible. Moving water attracts birds more than anything. And this guy's going to attract some birds too, right? All right, little duck, do your thing. It's great to have birdhouses in place right now. Birds will check it out, and in the spring when they're going to raise their brood, they can use it for nesting. And this is a custom painted one by my daughter. She loves to sign each one with a hand print. We have one more stop. We talked a lot about keeping the squirrels off the bird feeder, but they have to eat too, and they love this corn. The reason I have it screwed in here is they'll just take the ear and run away, but we want to watch them. That's part of the fun, just like watching the birds. And when they get on this thing, they're hanging upside down. It's fun for everybody, and I think even the squirrels. Now, for a complete story about attracting the birds to your garden, plus lots of other gardening information, check me out online. Until next week, I'm just going to sit back and watch the birds. We'll see you then. We're waiting for the birds.